to myself, saying it'll be just fine. Lying to myself, cause I don't like what I see. Lying to myself, I must be blind. Cause only a fool would believe. I don't even feel anymore. You took that from me. What made you make that choice? What did you see? What was I trying to avoid? Was it in front of me? Problems from bad energy. Searching for answers when it was me. I lie awake, thinking about my mistakes. Thinking about my mistakes. I lie awake, thinking about my mistakes. Thinking about my mistakes. Thinking about my mistakes.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your boy EasyEll. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, North Little Rock to be exact, born in Little Rock. And I'm an artist, singer, producer, musician, extraordinaire, just whatever whatever you cool with. Okay, so man, some of the inspiration that I had growing up, I guess, musician wise. So I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop artists. I think the first album I ever bought was with my own money was actually Nelly Country Grammar. And it was so funny that. And then after that, I bought, that's when I first was like, whoa, this is crazy, hip hop. The first artist that I think after Nelly that I bought that influenced me was Ghostface Killah's The Pretty Tony album. For me, like such a crazy album, hearing like, boom bap type beats. That's what I was really into. And then after that, I think I also bought Method Man to Cal, the prequel, if I remember right. And then G Unit's Beg for Mercy later on, and so on and so forth. Man, but some of the artists that really influenced me, I was influenced by a lot of Latin artists. But before I get to that, I guess you could say the hip hop artists that influenced me were like Nas, AZ from New York, Mobb Deep, the Wu-Tang Clan. That's like when I was like really heavy into hip hop. And then later on, I kind of got influenced by a lot of Latin rappers. So like if for those who aren't familiar, like Tego Calderon, he's like an OG in the game from Puerto Rico, super dope dude. Influenced by a lot of like reggaeton artists. So like Don Omar, Daddy Yankee, Hector El Father, Tito El Bambino. Because, I myself am Latin. And so like I grew up listening to like a lot of variety of things. Then I would say really now is who I am as an artist that influenced me. I came across Sampha. He's a big influence of mine. You got Toro y Moi, such like crazy, like, I guess, I don't know if you would call it psychedelic, but just wavy music. Toro y Moi, you got Tame Impala, Jameson, Joji, and like some of those artists now are kind of like who influenced me. And I still have those other influences from like the boom bap era and stuff. Cause like, I love hip hop. I love R&B, alternative R&B. So I have like this big melting pot of different artists who like, I love, and they kind of played a part and kind of steered me into, the sound that I'm doing now. So those are just, some of the influences. Okay, so the reason why I moved out here to Atlanta, it's so funny because I actually didn't meet the rest of the group, Coolassppl, until like I moved out here. So the only person I think I knew a little bit, like literally like a week or two before I moved out here was Jetty. So Jetty was the one that actually helped me move out here. So the reason why I moved out here was because money. It was like cheaper out here. It was funny because so I went to school, side note, I went to school for digital filmmaking, which is, you know, making movies. I loved movies. My mother loved movies. I grew up watching movies at the same time that I loved music. And I wanted to move to California, but at the time it just wasn't feasible. Like I was going to be living out of my car. And I was like, you know, I was willing to do it, but it just like, I even went out there to visit and scope it out because I had an uncle in California, and it just like, it didn't feel right, you know. It's kind of just a feeling. I was like, you know, I should do this, but then part of me was like, nah, I don't know. And then slowly but surely, like the stars started to align for me to move out here to Atlanta. And like it was crazy, like, you know, like certain jobs opened up, or, you know, like a room opened up, which is how I met Jetty and stuff from Coolassppl. So I moved out here because it's feasible, and like I had like just enough money to, like, you know, be okay for a little bit, and until, like, you know, I got a job or something just to hold me down. And so I just moved out here because it's more feasible. So if I knew any other artists out here, I actually did know of like friends that they're like, we're still cool to this day. They're like family to me. Was DJ Berm. I actually met him through a good friend of mine, Sean Fresh. Shout out to Sean. He introduced me to DJ Berm. And at the time I actually didn't, you know, I wasn't familiar with Berm or any of his work, but man, when I met him, he was such a cool, down to earth dude. And I was like, okay, well, that's one person that I know out here. Him, and then Indeed Face with my homies Go Ricky Go and Walt Live. And they were all like musicians out here getting it and, you know, working in the studio at, you know, all late hours of the day. And I got real cool with them. And basically, like, they were kind of like my teachers as far as, like, you know, sort of like sharpening my skill set and like getting more familiar with the industry and how it worked. And I was lucky enough to just be able to, you know, if they had a session going on, or if they had, you know, Berman was mixing, or just they were just making music, they allowed me to come in to the studio or wherever they were at, just to like sit there and, like, you know, sort of get some knowledge and information from them, just to grow. And it was such a eye-opening experience, because like that's when I was like, whoa, like, you know, you can do a lot of things with this music here. And I guess, you know, was there any other cities or spots that you had in mind? I did think about, like I said, California was one. LA just wasn't feasible. I did think about going to Chicago for a little bit, just because my pops lives up there, and I was going to live up there. But then it just didn't make sense film wise or music wise for me. And I didn't know anybody up there. And I think the other place I was going to go to was New York. That was one place, but just like LA, it just wasn't feasible for me. I wasn't like, you know, I didn't have that type of money to be living in the city, or, you know, I didn't want to sort of, I don't like the idea of living on top of each other and just, you know, being packed in like sardines. But those are some of the other ones. Man, as far as like, I guess what role I bring to the group, I don't know. This is funny because like every like you said, like the whole everybody in the group is like a different vibe, you know. It's everybody has their own influences and their own like way that they do things, and I think that's really dope to me, because we can kind of learn and bounce ideas off of each other, because I feel like all of us, we're all adaptable. So like me, I kind of like really loved that like sad boy music, or like, you know, kind of like a wavy type of vibe. That's like my vibe right there. And like I bring that into like whenever we're doing songs together, like the production style, it's a little bit different than, you know, your typical hip hop or trap song. And so I bring this different sound sonically that kind of like adds some spice to it. And, you know, it's something for them to jump on that maybe, you know, it's a little bit different than your, you know, typical trap or, you know, hip hop sound. And so I feel like I bring that alternative side, to the group as far as like singing or even rapping when I do rap. And vice versa, what does the group bring and do for you? I think what the group does for me, it keeps me on my toes, like skill wise, because like, man, some of these like Jetty or A Herd or Cat or Malcolm, just everybody in the group, man, like they keep you on your toes as far as it's like, it's a little friendly competition. You want to kind of be the best, who to do a verse or do a hook or even production style. Cause like A Herd be killing it on the beats. And then like, it keeps me on my toes. Like, damn, I gotta come hard on this next song that we do. If I'm making the beat, it's got to be like crazy. So it's like a little friendly competition because I'm a little competitive, and like, yeah, it just keeps me on my toes because, you never want to be slacking. You never want to be the one in the group that's just like slacking and not actually up to par with the rest of them because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So it keeps you on your toes, and we just sharpen each other's skills and talents. And it's good that we're like, we have these different variety of sounds, because I think you get this big melting pot of music and it just sounds super dope, Man, as far as like future plans, for like my music, I just want to keep growing and just keep creating like my sound and keep honing in on it. I would say that like, let me see, like sound. Hold on, let me take it back. So for my music, I just want to keep growing. Eventually, I do want to do more live performances here in Atlanta and just all over the world. For Coolassppl, man, we trying to take over the world, and so we're just continue growing until people start to notice like how dope we are. I would say we'll probably do a lot more music videos, maybe some dope little live performances here and there once we get, the sound quality right. So yeah, I think there's gonna be, things that we do like, live music through YouTube or maybe like social media, and even dope music videos or just cool little concepts. So I so like I would say that there is plans for a full length album, but right now I do enjoy doing the single releases because it does kind of give you creative freedom. And it's like, what is it? It just, like you said, it gives you more creative freedom to just kind of, go whichever way you want to, because that's like what I really enjoy doing. But I do have plans for a full length album. It's just a matter of like, because once you do a single, you kind of want to do more, and doing an album is kind of like you have to sit with yourself and like be like, okay, you have to sonically make sure it makes sense, and you have to go figure out how you want to do it from start to finish. But I do have like a title for it in mind. I'm gonna keep that to myself because I don't want nobody else to take it. But I do have like a few things in mind that I want to do. But right now, singles seems to be the move, and I think, like you said, I agree. It's you can be versatile with the singles. Albums dope too, because if you can bring a dope concept to an album, or it just sounds like amazing, I think you can win either way. Yeah, man. It's funny because I feel like the one phrase that always rings true with me is like, the only competition I have is with myself. It's never me against the world. It's me against me. I think that's from like Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. And I like that phrase rings so true with me. And because there is no competition, I think everybody has a different sound and a different vibe that they bring to. And there's a lot of producers in the game that inspire me, man. Just like a lot. And when you really pay attention to people who, kind of just do their thing, man, like It's just like being in the Coolassppl group, man. We kind of just bounce off each other. Like I've heard a bunch of loops from other people or just beats that inspire me to go hard in my own way, you know? And I don't feel like, you know, I'm never in competition with anybody because at the end of the day, I just want to be better than I was yesterday. But to basically answer, yeah, I'm inspired by inspiring others because I get inspired by others. You know, the whole world inspires me in a way. But yeah. So, man, there's like, oh man, because like I've been in this realm for a long time as well as like editing and creating like cover art or music videos and just editing. Man, I originally started on Final Cut Pro, which I know can be expensive sometimes. But right now, what I use is Adobe Premiere for like videos or like creating stuff for like to post or animations and stuff. Adobe Premiere is pretty dope, and then I would say that for my cover art, I use Photoshop a lot, and it's, man, after you get like the basics down, it's pretty simple. Cause I don't be doing nothing too crazy, to be honest, but I just know how to work with what I know to make, you know, cover art that sounds dope. But there's like, man, a bunch of different programs out there that you use. And then nowadays, you know, you don't really buy the program outright anymore. You kind of just rent it on a month-to-month basis or like an annual lease basis. And then plus, if you're a student, you get discounts on these programs, like on a monthly rent to rent. And so I would say look up, like if you're a student, look up student discounts for, you know, editing software, and you'll see a bunch of them pop up on Google. And yeah, what I use is Adobe Premiere for music videos, animations. You also have After Effects, which is another Adobe program, which is really good for like animations and stuff. But yeah, Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and Photoshop. That's what I use. And then also let me add this real quick that YouTube is like key. So like when you're first starting out in these programs and you don't know what the hell you're doing, the thing that I would always do is nowadays YouTube, you learn everything on YouTube. It's a university. Go to YouTube University, type up how, you know, basics for Adobe Premiere or basics starting off on Adobe Photoshop. And bro, I kid you not, you'll pull up a list of videos that people who go through and tell you like, this is what this does, this is what that does. And there's nothing stopping anyone from learning how to like master a program or how to do certain techniques. So I would say just look up, you know, get whatever program that you can afford or that, you know, you can get, and then go to YouTube and look up like, you know, what I need to know when first using said program. And you'll pick up like a lot of stuff, man. You'll learn. Man, I appreciate that, man. Cause like, yeah, the Not All Here podcast, man, it's like super, super dope. It's real funny. At first, I wasn't too sure about doing it because it's kind of like, you know, when you do stuff like that, you kind of let people in on a different side of you. And you kind of sometimes will be like, you know, do I want to remain mysterious as an artist and stuff? But now I really don't care because people get to see like the human side of me. And Jetty, like it's just fun to talk to Jetty because we're always like BS and talking about the most random shit. But it's gonna be no pretty soon. No, let me. I'd say pretty soon. No, we're gonna start having guests, and we're gonna probably have other members of the Coolassppl if they want to be on there. Isn't too crazy. I know we wanted to get A Herd on there, but he's kind of like, he's kind of more like low key. But we'll see. But I know we'll have like more people on there. Man, ooh, that question is like, yeah, being an artist is not an easy thing, but things worth having aren't easy to get. That's what I like to live by. Um, believe me, I've been in many situations where, you know, I worked on a song and I loved it. And like, I put my heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into it. And then, you know, you put it out and it gets no love. And, you know, sometimes you feel a type of way. And I think one of the things that I learned from those situations is to not take it so hard, because at the end of the day, if your music's dope, you know, the people that are meant to find it will find it, but also that requires work on your end to like push it, you know. One thing that I see a lot sometimes that I see artists do is that sometimes artists will have a song, they upload it to DistroKid or wherever they, you know, distribute, put it out, they'll make a post about it, and then they're done with it. That's it. They stop pushing it. When in reality, what you should be doing is like constantly pushing it, you know, mentioning it, you know, posting it maybe at least once a day on social media, or you know, trying to reach out to blogs or trying to reach out to playlists and stuff like that to push it. And so, because being in the music industry, there's like two halves. Being in the music, it's like, you know, it's a team sport, you know. Hopefully you got people in your corner. If not, you need to learn certain things about how to help your song go further. So that means, you know, reaching out to blogs or reaching out to playlist curators, and not just Spotify, but like, you know, other playlists. Other people make playlists. Reach out to people, DM them, be sincere about it. And, you know, because at the end of the day, that's going to help and build relationships for you in the music industry. And so you gotta like put effort into it. Cause I remember one thing from another artist before the song blew up was Fetty Wap, when, you know, he was like just running the radio. His was it Come My Way, I think, or something like that. But he was pushing that song for a year. Think about that. A year, that's 365 days. A year, maybe a little bit more, I think. And he was pushing that song before radio finally picked it up at the time and was like, yo, you know, they picked it up and it blew him up. So if you really believe in a song, you know, you got to really push it, and you kind of got to treat every song that you do like that. You have to, like, you know, how much do you love it enough to push it? And, you know, sometimes you have to realize that there's going to be efforts where the song might not, you know, pick up like you thought it would. And you just kind of go to the next one and just, you know, do that. And then it's a rinse or repeat process. You have to keep pushing. And who knows? Because maybe, you know, you release one song that you feels like the shit, and then doesn't pick up, and you put in all the effort, and then let's say 2, 3, 4 songs down, for some reason people go back to that song, they love it, and it blows up, and next thing you know, hey, superstar status. You know, it's funny how life works sometimes. And so you have to like just keep pushing, try not to take it so hard, and just keep believing, man. You know, and build relationships. It's really important. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. We take pride in our work, and, you know, we feel like we got momentum, and all the hard work. Cause like, it's funny, cause I've only been in Atlanta. In March, it'll be 5 years. And this isn't something that happens overnight, or at least you don't want it to happen overnight. You kind of want to build so that way you understand like how the game works and stuff. Cause rather than being thrown in there, you kind of want to have all the information and the experience, so that way you can walk in there and be like, okay, you know, I know how to handle myself, or I know how to deal with this music career or music industry. And so I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for the kind comments. Man, shout out to y'all for giving me the interview, man. I really appreciate it. It's always good to talk to good people, and I love opening up when people ask questions. Cause I know most of the time I'm real introverted and like I'm shy, but like when people ask questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Shout out, of course, to the Coolassppl, Jetty, A Heard, Jabriel, Catastrophe, myself, Drew Fresh. And I guess, just thanks to everybody who's been listening. Thanks to those who've shared the music. Even if you just listen, you ain't vibe with it, man, I appreciate you, I really appreciate people for even checking us out, giving us a second of their time, because time is very valuable. So thank you to everybody. Thanks to the fans. Thanks to just everybody, man. We really appreciate y'all. And then I guess my closing statement, the last thing I want to leave people with, especially artists, man, is like, love what you do and make sure that, whatever it is, even if it's not music, if it's something else, make sure that you really love what you do, because once you find something that you really love, that you enjoy doing, man, you'll be happy for the rest of your life. So, and then also make sure you plan out your things, because some people are good at winging it, but for me, like, I enjoy planning, and sometimes, practice turns into perfection. And so just, if you keep practicing at your craft, man, you're going to be unstoppable. But yeah, other than that, man, thank you for the interview. It's your boy EasyEll. Follow me on Instagram. It's EasyEll. That's ELL. On Instagram, Twitter, I'm trying to think of all of those social medias. TikTok, it's EasyEll. All the other places, man. I just dropped a single called Missing You, which is out on all platforms. You can also check out Can I Vibe With You, featuring my homie Walt Live. Such a dope vibe. I also have Broken Hearted, and then I also have Was It Even Real? So I got a bunch of singles that are already out. And I'm just enjoying dropping the music, and I got more on the way. And appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all have a great day.
Miss me with all the bullshit. I just wanna chill at the crib with my girl, that's it. Some sangria and some sex. I was the man last time I checked, ay. I'm in no competition with these rappers. I'm just doing my damn thing and looking dapper. Chasing greatness, that's what I'm after. In a league of my own, nobody else matters. They can't touch me, oh no, no, yeah. They can't fuck with me, oh no, no, yeah. They ain't nobody, oh no, no, yeah. They envy me, oh no, no, yeah.
Feels like gourmet bars delivered from God. You applause when the kid is on the microphone, writing songs. The type of zone he's on. We get it, dog. You killing bars. I've been involved since kindergarten, feeling the call in the music. I feel foolish doing other things other than this. I really want it now, bliss. Wanna get it jumping now, miss me with that foolishness. Who cool is this? We the coolest people you could speak to. Ain't no other equal out there to compete to. I'm feeling regal in my own cathedral. It's sacrilegious to throw dirt on my brethren, we lethal. Head to earth if you humble, yeah, I'm standing with you. But if not, we could behead you, let the earth just
They can't touch me, oh no, no, yeah. They can't fuck with me, oh no, no, yeah. They ain't nobody, oh no, no, yeah. They envy